It's coming in. The meeting that was expected today, the United States visiting NSA McMaster is meeting with Prime Minister Modi as we speak. This is a crucial meet here coming in. Remember, the first meet here that is taking place of the United States NSA visiting India, having arrived yesterday. Meeting with Prime Minister Modi currently underway. Breaking news here coming in. What's going to be top of the agenda of this meet? We're going to be getting in further inputs here on this in just a bit. Is the Kulbhushan Jadhav case going to be brought up with the United States? Remember, just yesterday he had met with the Pakistan counterpart, having met with Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif along with Sartaj Aziz on that matter, along other issues there that were discussed as well. These are going to be strategic talks to take place today between the leadership of the two countries, the United States, NSA, National Security Advisor there, McMaster, meeting with Prime Minister as we speak. Our Foreign Affairs editor, Geeta Mohan, is taking us through further details here. Top of the agenda of this meet there, Geeta. What could you get us?
The biggest issue between India and the United States of America is the fact that terrorism and security is the biggest concern that India has, and that the United States of America also today has and has been looking at. Trump administration has made it very clear that there is going to be no other area of focus barring the issue of terrorism when it comes to the South Asian region, although there are very many other important issues. But the National Security Advisor, in his conversations with his counterparts and now calling on the Prime Minister, will be assuring India of U.S. support when it comes to fighting terror and seeking cooperation on the same issue. We're also being told by our sources that McMaster, the National Security Advisor of U.S., is carrying and is likely to give him an invitation letter on behalf of President Donald Trump for a visit in this around the 12th of June. The week around 12th of June is what the invitation letter is going to say. And if that is going to be the case, right now we only know that it is likely to happen. But if he is going to extend a letter of invitation, then Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be one of the big nation prime ministers to have visited the United States of America within 6 months of Trump administration. A very significant visit it would be if it happens in June. But we'll have to wait and see whether that letter of invitation will be extended to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The big focus in the conversations is going to be about the fact that there have been important conversations, a fruitful dialogue between the two national security advisors, and the focus is certainly going to be terrorism. There are concerns with regards to terrorism emanating from Pakistan, and those areas that have been touched upon not just in Afghanistan, and the National Security Advisor had raised it even with the Pakistani leadership, and then the entire full-length discussion with his counterpart, Indian counterpart Doval. All those areas could be discussed in a very brief manner, because this is a call-on. It's a call-on to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and not the discussions. The full-fledged dialogue happened between the National Security Advisors of India and the United States of America.
Yes, stay on with us, Geeta, while you were indicating that he's, of course, currently on his South Asia visit, having made a stop first in Afghanistan, following Pakistan, and now India. But interestingly, he had taken a hard line there on Pakistan and isolating it even more on the international front for using proxies rather than diplomacy, which continue to indulge in violence. Here's a listen-in to that word that came in from the U.S. NSA.
We hope that Pakistani leaders will understand that it's in their interest to go after these groups less selectively than they have in the past, and that the best way to pursue their interests in Afghanistan and elsewhere is through diplomacy, not through the use of proxies that engage in violence.
U.S. National Security Advisor.
From his statement that he'd made as far as Pakistan is concerned, the big takeaway for India on more pressure, and this is global pressure that continues to be put on Pakistan to act in against those proxies.
Well, that's right. The U.S. administration has been rather concerned about the fact that Pakistan has not shown real intent and honesty towards fighting terrorism. That has been voiced by the U.S. administration and none other than the National
Right. Please stay
Security
with us,
Advisor.
Geeta. Very quickly, playing out these visuals for our viewers. The first images here that we're getting in of that crucial meet. Remember, as we said, the meet is currently on as we speak. Prime Minister Modi meeting with the United States NSA National Security Advisor HR McMaster. Geeta, as has been pointing out, this is an important meeting. It also sets the ground on putting in that invite, that formal invitation there to be sent to Prime Minister Modi for his next visit to the United States. But more importantly, as Geeta was explaining, this is largely on tackling terror in the subcontinent, in the region. As you were saying there, Geeta, on what has been made amply clear to Pakistan as well on that.
Well, that's right. It has been made clear to Pakistan. There was an entire message, and a very stern one at that was sent to Pakistan. Even before he started his visit there was a very significant message that came from none other than the State Department saying that the big bomb, the Moab that was we saw be attacked on the ISIS tunnel in Afghanistan was not informed to Pakistan, given that Pakistan still is a safe haven for terror networks and terrorists. That in itself is a huge message. National Security Advisor McMaster put that message forth to Pakistan also. The same conversations took place in Afghanistan, and the same conversations would have taken place with the Indian counterpart Ajit Doval as well. The visuals that you see are of the two meetings, McMaster, National Security Advisor, calling on Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the presence of Ajit Doval, Lisa Curtis, and his own officials from the U.S. side, and then from the Indian side, the Foreign Secretary, National Security Advisor, also present for that meeting between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and National Security Advisor of the U.S., McMaster, where the focus certainly is going to be security and terrorism.
Right, Geeta, given the nature of violation of the international law that we've seen in the case of Kulbhushan Jadhav by Pakistan there as well, is that going to be coming up in this meet?
Well, specifically, Jadhav will not be coming up in a meeting between Prime Minister and National Security Advisor of the U.S. Because this is a call-on. But certainly, this is a conversation that must have taken place between the two National Security Advisors. Ajit Doval would have apprised U.S. of what Pakistan has been up to, how a very important man who was an ex-military officer and now only a businessman, an innocent Indian, was picked up from a foreign land and taken to Pakistan and has been put on death sentence, has been sent to the gallows. This is an area of conversation that certainly would have come up and been taken up by the Indian side with the U.S. side, but it would have happened between the National Security Advisors. What we are looking at is a call-on by the National Security Advisor of America to Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The basics and details of the conversations with regards to India's concerns would not be coming up, but the larger picture of concerns that India has with regards to Pakistan certainly could come up.
That's right, but this could be something that could find presence there in a meeting that is slated to take place later today there, Geeta, also being between McMaster and our External Affairs Minister, Sushma Swaraj.
Well, that certainly could be one of the areas that Sushma Swaraj, External Affairs Minister, who has been talking about the fact that Kulbhushan Jadhav and her ministry has been talking about the fact that Kulbhushan Jadhav, an innocent Indian national, has been sent to the gallows in Pakistan, and Pakistan has not shared a single shred of evidence with India. There were news reports in Pakistan that the charge sheet copy has been shared. Absolutely false. There has been no copy of the charge sheet or the details of the verdict or evidences that Pakistan has been brandishing about in the international community that has been shared with India. and India is going to take up that matter with McMaster. Sushma Swaraj and her ministry, the Indian mission in Islamabad also comes under her. So she is the point person, the nodal person handling Kulbhushan Jadhav case directly when it comes to the MEA headquarters in New Delhi, as also the Indian mission in Islamabad. And she is going to, in all likelihood, take up that matter and raise that concern with the United States of America's National Security Advisor.
Yes, stay on with us, Geeta, as we continue to play out these visuals, the latest here that are coming in of this meeting. Of course, along scheduled lines, we can see the presence of an entire Indian team there. We have our National Security Advisor, Foreign Secretary, part of that meeting, along with the U.S. counterparts there as well. This is the first shots that we're getting you right here at NewsX, a meeting here that is taking place of the United States National Security Advisor, being HR McMaster there with Prime Minister Modi. Our Foreign Affairs Editor Geeta Mohan getting us those inputs. Many thanks, Geeta. We'll leave it at that. On that note, it's also a wrap on the show, but updates on